if we keep going in the direction we're going in, we ultimately are going to fall victim to our own technology and ultimately destroy ourselves. Either you grow spiritually with your technology, or you fall victim to it. Here it is, we say the Cold War's over. The threat of nuclear exchange is behind us. But we've already fallen victim because terrorists are thinking about using dirty bombs. The greed of man provides the materials to do that. The desire to not have secrets. Have it on the internet on how you can make a dirty bomb. So it's not the governments anymore that is in total charge of that awesome technology. They can't do as good at it as organized governments can in laboratories, making all the nice nuclear weapons and all the nice ballistic missiles as delivery systems. But they can make crude weapons. And I would remind everybody that a Stone Age spear can kill you just as easy as an AR-15 can today. So it doesn't have to be a highly sophisticated device, nuclear device, which would be a dirty bomb. But you would also have the aftermath of it going off. We really need to get to the point where we start to become more spiritual in our involvement with one another. We have to care what happens to one another. Now, I'm not talking religion here. I'm talking about what's in every person. There's that drive to really want to care what happens to other people. There is that adage, once we go ahead and get to that spiritual plateau where we can really apply it within our lives, that there but for the grace of God go I. And if we get to the point where we really want to go ahead and be concerned about the other person, this world's going to be a much, much better world to live in. Until that happens, we are a world in quarantine. We will be able to explore our own little solar system. We will be able to look beyond the envelope, but we won't be able to go out and explore the cosmos. We will fall victim to our technology long before that happens, unless we grow spiritually. If we grow spiritually, the day isn't too awful far off then that we will be going into the cosmos. We will be visiting other worlds. At some point, we will be the aliens, and we will be someone else's UFOs. Well, upon my arrival in Roswell, New Mexico, I was assigned to the ROTC unit here at NEMI. Some of the people that was over me did not like the idea that I was involved in UFOs. So they gave me what they called a lawful order not to go ahead, filled FOIA acts for information, not to correspond with senators, not to go ahead and correspond with anybody in any type of government agency dealing with UFOs or requesting information on UFOs. I considered that an illegal order, so I continued to do it. The end result was they went ahead, they relieved me of my duty, they forced me to undergo a psychological evaluation, which, dare I say, I came through it with flying colors. The one nice thing about it was they said, guy's not crazy. If he's done something he should be court-martialed for, by all means court-martial him. They tried to go ahead and force me to retire. Then they wanted to go ahead and process a disciplinary discharge on me. I resisted all of that. At one point, my executive officer called me into his office and said, "Okay, you're going to tell me everything you know about UFOs. We're not leaving till you do." I said, "Well, sir, do you mind if I smoke?" I smoke. And he said, "No, go right ahead. It's time I smoke cigars." So I lit up a cigar. And he says, "Okay, you ready to talk?" I said, "You going to call your wife, sir?" And he said, "Why do I need to call my wife?" I said, "Because, sir, if you're waiting for me to tell you anything, it's going to be a cold day in hell, and we're going to be here for a long time. This is information your wife should know." He then went ahead and said, "Well, I'm not mad at you. I just don't think you should be doing this. And besides, what difference does it make to you if the Pentagon has 50 flying saucers of extraterrestrial origin?" At which time I told him, "Sir, you have the luxury of not knowing the truth. Unfortunately, I do not share that same luxury."
But Project Aquarius was the United States government investigation of UFOs and UFO-related incidents from 1947 to present time. And in some 9Qs actually received additional training which involved deeper understanding of Project Aquarius. And I was one of those agents. The investigation, the official investigations of UFOs within the United States Air Force ended supposedly in 1969 when the Condom Report was written. Before that, there was such a thing as Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was the investigation of sightings of UFOs by Air Force military personnel or even civilians. There were 112 AFOSI detachments throughout the world from about 1952 on that investigated under Project Blue Book. And remember, before Blue Book, we had Project Sign and Project Grudge, which led to Project Blue Book, which was more of an organized investigation into UFOs, primarily in the United States and Canada. The Condom Report, officially called the Scientific Study of UFOs, was published in December 1968 and thus ended the United States Air Force official investigations of UFOs. Remember, official. Well, it didn't. The United States Air Force secretly continued to investigate UFOs and UAPs activities under various classified programs. And why? Why was this? Why did the Air Force continue? The sightings of UFOs didn't stop in December of 1969 with the Condom Report. People and Air Force pilots, Air Force ground personnel, military ground personnel, United States Navy ships continued to encounter UFOs. They had to be investigated. Was there a threat to national security? The Condom Report was unclassified. There wasn't any classified portions of the Condom Report. But few people knew that part of that Condom Report was a secret investigation by the Air Force, which said, we can't stop investigating UFOs because there may be a threat to national security. And so we have to continue to investigate these claims of sightings of aerial objects, ET contacts. The Air Force continued to investigate, as I said earlier, under various classified programs involving AFOSI. From 1947 to 69, the Air Force conducted investigations, as I said, under Project Blue Book. Authentic cases were turned over to AFOSI. Now, a UFO investigator went out to the field and encountered something that was official or something that was unexplained, clearly unexplained. Then OSI was brought into it. An example of this was the Lonnie Zamora case near Socorro, New Mexico in 1964. Lonnie Zamora was a police officer with the Socorro Police Department. He was on patrol and he saw an object land in an area southeast of the city of Socorro near a gravel pit. He drove out there to investigate. When he got out there, he saw an object on the ground, oval-shaped object with a signia inside of it. He also saw two people, he thought, outside this object. couldn't identify. So immediately he contacted his dispatch and asked for a backup. The backup was Sergeant Sam Garcia from the New Mexico State Police. He went out there to assist Lonnie Zamora. The whole case was probably the most believable case in Project Blue Book history up to that point. And this was in 1964, in May of 1964. Immediately, the Air Force brought special teams in, including AFOSI agents, who started an investigation into that incident.
If you enjoyed this, make sure to watch the next video on AwakenZone. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell, but you won't want to miss what's coming next.